Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to Afro Wonders. Today, actually in for an edition of Afro Review of Florence, Italy. So Florence is this beautiful, beautiful city nestled in the northern part of Italy, right in the Tuscan region, a beautiful landscape all around it, rolling hills. But Florence itself, it's a city with an abundance of art, a lot of legendary history, and it's actually where the Renaissance era got its legs. So, as you know, whenever I go to a different city, I try to peep my surroundings, try to check the diversity scene around there. And at first sight, you actually notice there's actually a lot of diversity in Florence, a lot of black people, to be honest. And, I also realized after traveling to a lot of places, as an outsider in a foreign land, I just pretty much see what it wants to see. So I try to go a little more in depth in my weekend there. And taking a lot of things into account, Florence actually got a solid 4 out of 5 Fros on the Fro Rating Scale. Would you like to know how? Alright, I'm about to show you. Let's go. Alright, so the city's demographics and its people. So as soon as I got to Florence, left my hotel and I hit the streets, headed to the city center, which is about 20-minute walk. And what I noticed was a lot of diversity, like I said before, specifically a lot of black people. And I noticed in the distance, I saw a group of black guys kind of standing in the corner. I'm walking in that direction. And as I get closer, I started to notice they have their little sheet laid out on the ground, and they got, little trinkets, mementos, souvenirs type of things that they were selling. And I'm like, word, can't knock the hustle. And I walked past them, you do your universal black guy head nod. Everybody know about that. It's like, what's up? Keep walking. And as I walked towards the center, I noticed another group, same exact thing. African guys selling little trinkets and souvenirs from the corner. I see another group. And I kind of got a little deja vu moment. I noticed the same thing back in Paris and a few other major European cities. And I started to realize, I did hear that Italy has had a major influx of African migrants over the past decade, like a really high amount, and it's increasing every year. Mostly from northern African countries like Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, but also from Western African countries as well. And so I could only assume that these are guys that probably arrived not so long ago, and they get their hustle on, trying to get some money, because you got to make some money to survive. And when I see them, it makes me wonder how long they've been doing their hustle there, and if these different countries that have this major influx of migrants, if they're doing enough to integrate all these people, fully integrate them into society, give them a route, some kind of path to a steady job, education, or just something like that, and put them in a world where they can explore their interests. And it's hard to say because, like I said, Italy especially has been hit pretty hard with a lot of different asylum seekers from different places. So I'm sure they're doing the best they can. I wonder if the EU, if and how they're going to step up to ease the situation or make it a little easier for Italy and the asylum seekers themselves. But I know it's a tough situation, but that's just something I noticed in a couple different cities, that even if there are a lot of black people, they're still not fully integrated in society. Not in every country I've been to in Europe, but definitely in Italy. Alright, so being that there's so many black people in Italy, no matter how integrated they are, I'm not a rare sighting, so I can just walk around and people aren't staring at me out of curiosity, especially not in Florence. As I made my way to the hilltop village outside of the city called San Gimignano, which you have to go if you're ever in the area. It's so beautiful, man. I'll get to that later. But that's when I realized, like, okay, I'm the only black person here. And that tends to happen whenever I leave the city center of different major cities. Whenever I go to the nature side of these different countries, I start to notice that, okay, yeah, I'm the only black person here. So people start to stare a little more. And I know that these are just out of curiosity. And I'm kind of getting used to it now. I know a lot of people just can't get with that. A lot of people just will never get used to that. And I understand why. Who wants to be stared at like that? So, San Gimignano is the only place I felt that. Of course, no ill intent, no malice felt there. I've been told a lot of occasions that Italy, there's been a lot of racist incidents there, especially towards black people. I was only there for a weekend. I didn't sense that. I didn't get that feeling. But everybody's experience is different. That's just telling you mine. So Florence is a very reasonably priced city as far as things to do, things to eat, and just getting around the city as well. You can get a delicious meal for like $8 to $12, and we're talking Italian pasta or legit, Nepalese pizza, however you say that, or gelato in every corner you can get for like $2. So it's an amazing place to visit if you're not trying to break the bank, but also have a great time. It's high value, I'd say. And I think places to stay are cheap too. I got my hotel like literally the last minute, the day of, so it was $125 at the student hotel, and that's like the day of, which that's not cheap. That's actually more pricey than I usually get places for, but I did it the same day, so you get what you pay for. And the hotel is nice. It's actually a really nice hotel. So if y'all know me, y'all know that hiking is my thing. Whenever I go to a major European city, I always find a way to get out of there and like just see the nearest national park or just get out in the nature side of the country. Because I think that's really the way you see a country. Like, you gotta see the nature side. Because most cities are just cities. They look like the last city you visited. So I love getting out of there and seeing the countrysides. And the Tuscan countryside does not disappoint. It's amazing, man. It's like this rolling hills as far as the eyes can see, vineyards everywhere, animals, and a bunch of valley villages, but also hilltop villages. And the place I went to, San Gimignano, was a medieval hilltop village. And I wish I could have spent more time just in the Tuscan countryside, hiking, exploring the nature side, but I only had one day, so I went to San Gimignano. And the cool thing about that is it's actually called the City of Fine Towers. They used to have like 72 towers in the medieval ages. Really tall, I don't know how tall, but super tall. And now a lot of them got destroyed over time. 12 of them, 14 of them still stand. And you can actually climb up one called Torre Grossa. And you climb up to the top of that and you can get a 360 view of the whole Tuscan countryside. It's above everything. So it was, I was just able to scope out like the places I'm gonna hit next. So I'll definitely be back, and I'm looking forward to hiking in that area. I mean, they get 5 Fros for hiking, no doubt. So taking all those things into account, the treatment and safety of the city, the cost to visit, the hiking options, getting around the city, the food, and also just the general city demographics, I had to give Florence 4 out of 5 Fros on the Fro Rating Scale. They really deserve it. I love visiting it, and I felt very comfortable being in my own skin there. So it's a great place to visit if you're an Afro wanderer, any kind of traveler, especially solo or with a group. It works out either way. So yeah, man, Florence, be back for you.